Hi everyone, this is David Yang. I'm back with another episode of Alumni Stories. Today I'm lucky to have Emily Chesler.
Yeah.
Emily was a graduate of the
The 1511.
11, so just
Yeah.
about 5-6 months ago.
February.
All right, Emily, well thank you so much for coming in.
Sure.
And I'd like to start with a question about how you got into coding itself. Like, what got you excited about originally?
Sure. I was actually a web applications minor at NYU. I was one of those people that kind of figured out too late in college that they really liked coding.
Okay.
But I knew from the classes that I took that was the subject that I got really, really engaged in. Would be up until 4 a.m. by accident, just trying to figure stuff out. And I was an econ major, so I became an analyst at an SEO startup afterwards. But they just kept letting me do SQL stuff and do get my hands on code things. And eventually they asked if I wanted to be a QA engineer. And so I learned Ruby, and then after that I decided to apply to Fullstack so that I could sort of round it out.
All right, so let me zoom back a bit. I'm going to start with a question about what happened to your hair? Because when you were here, I remember you had these long flowing locks.
Yeah, it
so
was very mermaidy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really hot in the summer.
Okay, so do you do this every summer? Or?
No.
Okay.
That would be really fast for it to grow.
Okay, I have no idea. Yeah.
All the way down. Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen. I thought about. I guess I've had long hair since I was 12, and before then I had it always short all the time, and I kind of missed it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was never sure. It's a drastic change. If it doesn't look good, that's a 5-year commitment.
Oh, to go back to get back to
get back. Because you probably get your haircut every 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is what I do now. So it's a whole different world. But usually, yeah, it's a much longer commitment. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy
So, because for anyone who might see you other places, one other thing I remember very starkly about your time here is that you were very into music. You were a DJ before. Is that something that you pursue still, or?
Oh yeah, still do it. I actually bought 2 new things today, before I came here. So I'm still definitely doing it. It's every couple months, depending on how busy work is.
Okay.
Definitely only weekends. I tried doing midweek things. That's just not.
So you still book gigs for?
I still do
for weddings or for?
I'm doing my first wedding in the winter. Yeah, someone's trusting me with that, which is awesome. I usually do Friday night happy hours or Saturday night late night things. Anything where I can get a day to sleep afterwards, but it's a nice balance between plugging in during the day.
Do you DJ your own music, or are you kind of playing music, or is
do I produce?
Yeah, do you produce music, or
No,
are you
I wish I could.
Okay.
I'm much better at copying things and fitting things together than saying, oh, I think this would make a great song, which is perfect for DJing because you're just taking awesome things that other people have made and meshing them together in cool ways.
Okay, so you're a DJ. You used to have super long hair, and you were a web applications minor at NYU, and then afterwards you worked in SEO.
Yeah, for about 4 years.
And so the whole time you're kind of coding. You're in the world of code. SQL, Ruby is all coding stuff.
Yeah.
What I guess what was the thing that happened in your mind where you're like, I want to make this my thing?
Right. Well, the QA was where I was for the past year, in position-wise, and so writing tests, but the QA job was a lot of hats there. You'd have parts where you were coding in Ruby, and you'd also have parts that was a little more DevOpsy, like setting up test servers, and other parts were really manual, and other parts were client-facing, and it made it a really easy side-by-side of what I hated and what I really, really liked doing, and I just noticed that when I know that I'm writing code all day tomorrow, I'm really excited to go to work.
Okay.
And when I know that I'm doing, maybe one of those other things, I'm less excited about work, and it just became, oh, okay, I think that's what I'm meant to do.
So when you were writing code as a QA engineer, you can talk to us about specific tools. Are you using Selenium?
Cucumber with Selenium. So it was browser automation. So we would write acceptance tests that would go and touch your browser, touch the application as if it was a user.
Okay.
And so it's as front end as you can get with tests. So unit tests, I guess, being the lowest. It'd be the highest level one. So it's more testing behavior than function level. And
building out.
Yeah.
Did you I'm curious because we often get applications for people in this kind of QA position role, and I'm curious, did you explore an opportunity to transition into engineering at the company you were at?
Yeah. I talked with them a lot about that because I had a really good relationship with my managers there, and I'd been there since it was 50 people, and when I left it was 200.
Okay.
So I was definitely trying to find ways that I could do both. But the team was just growing really, really fast, and we were learning a ton of tools just for the QA team in general. So being able to transition, they didn't really have a junior engineer position.
Okay.
So the only bridge level position was more like a bug fixing position one, which would have been interesting, but it just made so much more sense to figure out if I liked it, to go to some place where I could get full stack versus like, okay, maybe you can touch these things, and then if you can, which is a great role for a junior dev, and a lot of people that come out of boot camps do exactly that.
Yeah.
And it's great for like learning a really big, complicated application. I was just impatient.
Okay, just wanted to kind of jump right into it.
Yeah.
All right, so you did you have any thoughts about? You were doing a lot of work in Ruby. Did you have any thoughts about Ruby versus JavaScript, or what made you decide to go?
I looked at the Ruby boot camps versus the JavaScript boot camps, and I think Ruby's great. It's a lot of fun, but for me, on deciding on a school, it was more of a long-term what language I thought would be more sustainable. I don't know if that's the right word. Like sustainable.
Yeah, sustainable.
Or more applicable. JavaScript is safer in the sense that like even if you come out of the school and you're like that you're looking for mainly junior dev positions, most of the time junior dev they want to put you front end. So it kind of makes it a lot easier to say, oh, I know JavaScript, and that was like all I did in school. So to me, it just made more sense to do something that I knew that any company I applied to would be using.
Yeah.
Whereas with Ruby, there's no guarantee that they're using Rails for their backend. They're using, that they're using Ruby at all. And I like JavaScript.
Okay, so you studied JavaScript at NYU in your web applications minor as well.
Very little. So we had one class that was PHP.
Okay.
And we used JavaScript as well. But it was long enough before I started studying for full stack that I forgot it all.
Okay.
but I still read. But doing Ruby every single day made it really easy to at least remember. Okay, this is a for loop. This isn't it. The basics of it.
Did you feel comfortable enough in Ruby to build your own small web applications? Were you using things like Sinatra, or was it very much like this is Ruby code inside the context of test scripts?
Raw code. Yeah,
Okay.
that was a very big change for me, of taking something that was just raw code and transitioning into, oh no, this is like a standalone application. I was definitely coding in a very, in a very protective environment, I guess. Like I wasn't at least building any of the infrastructure around it. It's like, this is what we use, this is what runs the test, give us tests to write.
I see.
Which was actually one of the best ways to start writing.
How were the tests given to you? Were they given to you as like a Word document and you kind of translate it into the Ruby, or?
I got to define them.
Okay.
So I would be the QA lead for a team.
Okay.
And the feature devs would say, we're building this, and it was up to the QA developer to say, okay, well, before we release this, we need to know that these things work, and I would just write behavior tests to make sure that they work.
I see.
And like if you were making an upload button, I'd say, okay, like I'm going to make a test that goes and hits the upload button and make sure that this and this happens, and that this doesn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is, a lot of companies talk about investing in test infrastructure, but this sounds like a pretty serious investment that they were making.
Yeah.
Was the team?
Which was great. Yeah, it was definitely worthwhile because the application was just getting so big. When I started, we had one QA person, and then when I left, I think we were over 10 for sure, because there are just only so many things you can test manually, and I'm sure you can touch one part of your app and not even think about the fact that maybe this crosses wires all the way on this other side with this other part that you never even thought of. But if you have test coverage, that'll take care of it. So we didn't have any automation around it.
Was it, because oftentimes here as QA engineers, we were 10 engineers, we were 10 QA engineers defending against 50 product engineers. Was it like that kind of dichotomy in the company, or?
It felt more like almost we were protecting the feature engineers in the sense of saying like their stuff is good because we know that it passed these things.
I see.
And every team had maybe five or six people on, and everybody got very close. And the feature engineers wrote their own unit tests and integration tests, so you're working pretty close with them. I think now they've transitioned to QA people writing even more stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you remind me what your capstone project here was?
FitMix.
FitMix,
Yeah,
that's right.
It was a fitness mix maker.
Okay, I remember this idea.
I explain it to people as Fisher Price Ableton.
Okay.
Have you heard of Ableton?
I've heard of Ableton and Fisher Price.
So it's like it's like a music workstation for someone that's never touched any kind of music production software ever.
Okay.
And we wanted to make it so that, oh, you want to do a workout, you know what songs you like to play, you know what workout you're doing, like let's let you cut up your songs the way that you want and put them in the order you want, and add maybe like sound effects or instructions to it. It was really fun.
Something I'm almost curious, like what, as you become more powerful as a developer and you feel like I can do whatever I want, what are the things that were challenging in hindsight that you might have even known about or thought would be easy kind of going forward?
Things I thought would be challenging after Capstone that I now.
Or things that you found challenging that you maybe never expected to be challenging or didn't even know about?
Oh, interesting. I think probably scaling. That was just the different number of scenarios that you have to prepare for. Is what when you're testing between a team of 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
It's one thing, and then you have your little MongoDB set up, and then if you blow that up to 50 people using it, you're
totally fine, right?
Yeah, it's a completely different thing. And usually when you come out of whatever company you go into, you're going to have more than hopefully 10 users. So that's an immediate I need to design this in a certain way that protects against. It's a lot more error catching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more error catching and less feature building, right? It's like you spend half your time.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the Capstone is sort of a sprint.
Yeah.
Thing where if we had a month to clean stuff up after, to like polish it up, that would be plenty of time to account for that. But it's interesting going back, like we even went back and looked at the project, like, oh, if we just put a little catch there, then that probably wouldn't explode. So,
Probably wouldn't explode. That's a good, I'm really excited about the company you're at right now, Yhat. I think it's very cool. Data science,
awesome.
kind of orchestration of data science tools. What attracted you to the company? What did you like about their product mix?
I liked a lot of stuff about it. So I liked their size. I knew I wanted to work for a small startup, and I really liked the product. Like, I've been interested in data science for a long time, but the closest I ever took was econometrics.
Okay.
And it's a really interesting new field, and there are even data science boot camps now because people need data scientists that badly. Mm-hmm. And the problem they're trying to solve is just really interesting. I don't know if you know about the product. I will explain it. Sure.
You can explain that for.
I will. Sure. So.
Our 50 listeners.
I like to use Netflix as an example.
Okay.
So that's not one of our clients, but it's a great example of like a useful product. So if you use Netflix, they have a recommendations engine. Yeah. They'll say, oh, if you've seen these movies, that probably means that you'll also like these movies. Like, let me show them to you. And if Netflix is written in one type of language by one certain type of developers, but the people that make the recommendations engine are almost definitely data scientists, and they're writing in Python, they're writing in R, something like that. So that's really hard to translate between each other, and they're getting millions and millions of requests all the time. So they need to deploy those predictive models someplace else, and we basically help them do that and help them build a bridge in between the two.
Okay.
So we, instead of making people translate code together that's usually not meant to be translated between each other, we help them build a bridge and turn it into an API call.
So this idea it's kind of like the scalability thing, right? It's easy to build a model, you test it on a million data set, but the hard part is deploying this where 1 million people can touch it per day and it stay up.
Right.
And Yhat's goal is to help them package this up so that it can become an API inside the organization.
Right. Well, or to basically separate. It's like a separation of concerns thing where you have your data science things in one place and your main like media application in another place, and they just talk to each other instead of trying to smash them into one thing. Yeah.
So we're talking just a few days ago, and you're showing me that you're working with things like Golang, Docker.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get into all these things so quickly? I mean, this is literally a few weeks.
It was like a trial by fire kind of thing. That's what's cool about working at such a small place is that we definitely they have great mentoring, and they let me learn as I went. Started off with small projects, but it was really cool about a small place that you get to touch the code really quickly. Mm-hmm. So one of my first projects was a Docker project, like building custom Docker images, which I'd never done. Never done.
Never seen it before.
At my old job, we used Docker for deploying some test environments where we'd basically spin something up and then tear it down just over and over again. Whereas we don't do the tear down part.
Okay.
We, like all of the models live in their own little Docker containers, and we want all of them to have their own special little rules. And so that was like the first project. It was something that I'd never really used before, and I got to just get to really, really deep into it. So, and every project has kind of been like that.
One thing a lot of students say that they come out of a coding bootcamp with is that they just learn how to learn. I think that's one thing that sounds great, but I'm curious what that means to you. Like, how do you overcome these challenges and say, I'm not afraid of Docker, or whatever I'm learning. I can figure it out. Like, what does that mean to you? That
how
phrase?
To learn? Yeah, like Fullstack definitely helped in terms of that, but before Fullstack and before my current job, I think a lot of people that when they're trying to learn code, they do a lot of reading. Okay. Instead of they do a lot of reading before they start building. And you just learn so much faster when you just try to make something. Okay. And it coding is such a different world than so many other jobs where messing up is not okay. Mm-hmm. And but the engineering mindset is much more oh, that broke, that's weird, why did that break? Instead of a slap on the wrist kind of thing. So it's more I think that the biggest thing you learn when you become an engineer is that it's cool to break things sometimes. Just figure out how to fix it, but try to make something, and that's the best way to learn.
I see.
Yeah.
And then is it possible? Do you think or how would you tell someone to know what they should be even making? Because they're always what project should I make? For example, when you learned Docker, was it very guided what you were doing, or did you were okay, let me try to do something with Docker?
It was really specific. It was we need to make an image that supports these languages and and can do X, Y, Z. And that's I think starting really simple like that, because a lot of times people overcomplicate projects, which I've totally done. I did that on my first side project. I was I'm going to make a SoundCloud web app that's going to scrape all of SoundCloud, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to zip, and it half did it. But if people don't have that much free time, and if you just start really, really simple, I want to make this simple thing that does this. And once you realize that you can do that, then it's really easy to say, okay, I made a thing that does this, let me also make it do this. And that was the best way for me, I guess.
What is the, as you're now a couple of months into it, what are the things that you're kind of looking forward to in your career?
I guess I'm just really excited to be building things. I'm still in the I'm not on the testing side anymore. I'm helping build the actual app now, but I'm excited to figure out where I fit in the space. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense, because there's plenty of people that stay full stack for a long time. But it's been cool seeing where your strengths are and where maybe they are and where you have to work on it. Because when you're in school, it's a very condensed, fast-paced environment, and you might find out afterwards, oh no, I am actually really, really good at that. I was just really tired for that lesson. Yeah. And I am awesome at making routes. Who knew?
Who knew?
That's great. I'm horrible at CSS, but I'm great at routes. So yeah.
Now, one thing I always like to ask is, what was your favorite memory of your time at Fullstack? Moment or
favorite moment. I really liked Stackathon a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your Stackathon project?
I'm still working on it. It's called Gifts Against Humanity.
Oh, that was your project.
It was really fun.
Is it playable?
No.
Okay.
it's broken.
We still show it. It's a great.
Do you really show it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorites.
Once we get it fixed, my partner on it.
Who?
Nick
Palancar? Okay, yeah.
So him and I need
he's
to have
he's really good at Avalon.
He is very good at Avalon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he also good at
good.
Cards Against Humanity or
Yes.
Gifts? Okay.
Yeah. So we need to do a coding day on that. But Gifts Against Humanity is exactly Cards Against Humanity, but with gifts.
It's hilarious.
It's great. I want to make it a mobile game so you can use it for parties and stuff. But Stackathon was just a really cool way to just de-stress for a little bit, but work on something that you kind of knew was not inconsequential, but you just knew you could have fun with it, and you knew that you learned a ton doing it at the same time. And ours was during the blizzard too.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a kind of special memory, as I just remember. It was, I think only 10 of us made it to the office, but we were literally climbing over snow mountains. So we're gonna get to full stack. We have to build this thing, and everyone it was just a fun weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who are considering making the jump? I mean, I think you were so close to it, right? And so maybe the jump wasn't as scary, but do you have any advice for people who are thinking about doing that, or?
I think advice for people who know that they want to do it but are afraid to do it.
Oh yeah, who think that they might be interested in it but aren't sure yet.
I think, I think the best thing to do, if you think about full stack specifically, they should do Jumpstart.
Okay.
I think that that's a great way to figure out if you like coding. I think I think there's a really big difference between people that just really like math and like thinking logically and people that really like coding.
Yeah.
So I think like the first step is like make sure that you're like really, really, really like this, and if you like it, you're gonna love full stack and you're gonna love coding forever. To do as many, like if you have time for a side project, do a side project and just see if it's your thing. I think I'm very like boot camp evangelical, I guess, just because like it worked for me. But there are definitely there's also definitely like this utopian feeling about like go to a boot camp and you will become it. But like it's not not everybody's meant to become an engineer. But if you are, it's perfect. Like you should. I think if you have any interest in coding and you know you like coding, do a boot camp. It's completely worth it.
Yeah, that's another thing I think is that like people think there's a magic to it, but no, it's like just a lot of hard work. Good community, good environment, good teachers.
It is. I described it to my old manager when I was leaving as like you know in Mario Kart, like the rainbow strip that like when you hit it, you kind of like speed up. That's kind of how it felt for me. It's like I know I like this. I know like something that I could be good at. I have no time because I'm working really hard at my job all the time.
Yeah.
But if I just go full in on this, then it'll be great.
I like that analogy. Yeah. It's like life is a bunch of turtle shells being thrown at you. It's like you just need that star mode or the rainbow.
Everyone just needs their star mode.
Yeah, exactly.
This was my star mode.
All right, Emily. Where can people find you if they need DJ services when you release Gifts Against Humanity? Or are you on Twitter?
Man, I'm on GitHub.
Okay.
At Emches, EMCHES.
EMCHES. That's awesome.
I need to get a DJ page up.
Okay. I know your SoundCloud is like died.
It didn't die. They killed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Too
SoundCloud
good.
is on a mission against DJs. Right now.
I see.
It's like a copyright kind of, but it's on Mixcloud/DJ_chess. If anyone.
CHES.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what about Twitter? Are you on Twitter or anything?
It's the same thing, DJ_chess, but it's not very used.
Okay.
Yeah. Instagram, same thing.
And can we get an official commitment date for when Gifts Against Humanity will be released?
Ooh. I'm hoping end of 2016, maybe.
Okay.
We can debut it here.
Okay.
We'll go public.
All right.
Here.
Awesome.
This is where we'll do the IPO.
Okay. All right, Emily. Thanks so much. It's great talking to you.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming in.
Of course.